WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cash Matlock. Groups across the state have been holding marches this weekend calling for justice, equality, and an end to systematic racism. Today, a church in Columbus hosted a rally. WCBI's Tyler Hull has more on the story.
Almost 100 people came to the Jesus and Justice rally in Columbus Sunday. The rally was organized by Kingdom Vision International Church. Bishop R.J. Matthews helped coordinate the rally. He wanted people in Columbus to spread a message of unity in the fight for justice.
What the reality is, man, there's so many people in our community that want to see justice, want to see unity, want to see things better, and to just simply have the opportunity to stand shoulder to shoulder with them means the world.
J. Marcus Brooks is a minister at the church. He says the diversity of the crowd shows the community's willingness to listen and take a stand.
To see everybody, all different backgrounds, all different cultures, to come together and say, listen, there's something we need to address, and we're not going to stop until it gets addressed. And so it means the world to me and to our community to get that done.
District Attorney Scott Colon believes the show of support across the state signals change on the horizon.
It's a new day in Mississippi in that we're trying to build a new reputation. The murder of George Floyd was an opportunity for us to show that we stand behind truth, justice, and equality, that we will not stand for police brutality. And Mississippi, all across the state, they've showed up and they showed out.
The march started at the Columbus Police Department and ended at the Lowndes County Courthouse with a rally. Tyler Hull, WCBI News.
Key points of the rally were prayer, praise, protests, and preaching.
Because whatever is going on, God, you are in control, oh God, not us, oh God. We ask that you would give us a peace of mind, God.
Hundreds flocked to Fair Park in front of Tupelo City Hall for a prayer rally calling for unity and justice. The Lift Every Voice prayer rally was organized by Bishop Clarence Parks of Tupelo's Temple of Compassion and Deliverance. Pastors representing churches from across racial and denominational lines prayed and spoke at the rally, encouraging unity among the races and asking people to stand up and speak out against racism. Speakers said gatherings like this can lead to ongoing dialogue between faith leaders and government leaders, including law enforcement officials.
I think this can make a difference. One of the things that usually happens on the other side of this is many of the leaders who come wind up at a table together later. It winds up putting some people around one another that if we didn't do this, they would not be together.
You don't want to get to the point where you don't need police at all. We need the police. We need the police because there are still, I don't care how things get, there's still going to be unruly people in the world, and you need the police. The police need to be our friend, and we need to be their friend.
The rallies are part of a nationwide and worldwide reaction to the death of George Floyd nearly 2 weeks ago at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer. A growing chorus also calling for change in downtown Jackson this weekend amid George Floyd's death. A Black Lives Matter rally was held outside the governor's mansion Saturday. It was a peaceful protest, but the people who came out made sure their voices were heard. Thousands of people could be seen waving signs and standing up in the name of social justice. The demonstration was organized completely by young people. And along with the rally, they also marched from the governor's mansion to the state capitol, chanting Black Lives Matter and calling out the names of people who have died at the hands of police. The protesters here say it's time for lawmakers and police to address problems that have plagued our communities for years. They say they're tired of talking, and now it's time to take action.
George Floyd died with a policeman's knee on his neck. He was handcuffed. He was on the ground, and he wasn't a threat to anybody. And yet 4 policemen held him down until he died. That's it. That's the camel. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. And you can see that they are showing here in Mississippi that they are tired of it and they want to change.
And I'm glad and thankful to see everybody working towards like the same cause. And I feel like it shows that there is unity and support, even though it may not be present in like the larger part of politics and everything else.
After the march, protesters took a moment of silence for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in remembrance of George Floyd. That's the amount of time that police held George Floyd down on the ground with a knee on his neck. As protests continue around the state and country demanding criminal justice reform, the city of Columbus is providing an opportunity for residents to let their voices be heard in the upcoming town hall meeting. Tuesday, June 9th, a live conference will be held to discuss policing in Columbus, Mississippi. The hour-and-a-half meeting will be broadcast on Facebook Live, featuring live question and answer with experts such as the local NAACP, the Justice for Ricky Ball organization, and the Columbus Police Department. The live conference will begin again Tuesday, June 9th at 5:30 p.m.
Well, the calm before the storm. Take a look at the sunset tonight from Sulligent, and really all across the area. It was a similar scene with those tropical clouds slowly making their way in. Made for a really nice view with all the moisture in the sky. Plenty of light goodness gracious, I'm just going to skip that word. I'm not even going to try to say that. There's lots of light bouncing around in the clouds, making it really sunny out there. I'm being laughed at by everybody in the studio right now. That's okay. We're just going to keep right on going here. Clouds are continuing to build in across the region. A few light showers starting to get in there around Winston and Noxubee counties right now. Temperatures generally right around 80 degrees. Tropical storm Cristobal, though, still well to our south, but the rain bands, like I mentioned, starting to move in here, as well as the cloud cover. The main impact is going to be felt tomorrow. Here's what we're thinking. Heavy rainfall through the day, 1 to 3 inches possible. Also some gusty winds, 35 to 40 miles an hour. And unfortunately, with this tropical system, we might have to deal with a few brief, isolated spin-up tornadoes. I'll have the full breakdown of what we can expect, if I can get my words together, coming up in just a little bit. Cash.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, one person is dead after a house fire in Lee County Saturday night. Lee County Coroner Carolyn Green says the body of a man was found on Walnut Street in Saltillo around 7:30. The body is being sent to Pearl for an autopsy. The coroner's office will wait to release the name of the victim until all family is notified. An inmate serving 2 sentences, including life, at the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility in Rankin County has died. The Mississippi Department of Corrections says 75-year-old Jesse Minifield was receiving specialty care when he died Friday night at Merritt Health Center in Jackson. An autopsy will determine the official cause of death. Minifield was convicted of murder, homicide in 1979 and aggravated assault in 2011, which occurred while he was on parole. Both crimes occurred in Clay County. Well, MDOC reports a second inmate death this weekend. A female inmate serving 3 DUI-related sentences at Central Mississippi Correctional Facility dies at a Jackson hospital. MDOC says 41-year-old Deborah Patton died this morning at Merritt Health Central in Jackson, where she had been hospitalized for several days. An autopsy will also determine the official cause of death. Patton pleaded guilty to DUI death and 2 counts of aggravated DUI for a 2013 fatal DUI crash that killed a 5-year-old child and injured the child's parents in Marion County. She was sentenced to a total of 30 years on May 9th of 2014. The Mississippi Department of Health reports 236 new cases of COVID-19 with 6 new deaths. There are 15 new cases among long-term care facilities. 357 individuals are currently hospitalized within the state with the virus. And since March 11th, there have been more than 17,000 total cases with 817 total deaths. It's presumed that more than 11,000 Mississippians have recovered from the virus. Well, a boil water notice has been issued for the town of Chocolat. Please boil all water for at least 1 minute before drinking or cooking. The notice is a standard safety precaution after a loss of water pressure on the main line. The notice will last until results come back from the Mississippi Department of Health. Well, Trevor has a brand new WeatherWise coming up next. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Welcome back, everyone. Hurricane season is officially underway, and meteorologists are expecting an above-average year for tropical development. In this week's WeatherWise, meteorologist Trevor Burchett explains exactly where hurricanes come from and why hurricanes often turn out to sea before making landfall. Take a look.
With hurricane season officially beginning June 1st, all eyes will be on the tropics for the next several months. But how exactly do these tropical storms form? Believe it or not, a hurricane often begins as an area of low pressure coming off the west coast of Africa. Once the system enters the Atlantic Ocean, it has plenty of room to feed off all of that warm water and strengthen into a tropical storm. Beyond that, if the conditions are right, it could even strengthen into a hurricane by the time it reaches Puerto Rico. After that, the direction it takes largely depends on what's happening over land in the United States. For instance, a cold front moving eastward would help to direct the storm back out to sea. However, some patterns, such as this high pressure, can actually direct the storm into the Gulf of Mexico, where it could make landfall. Eventually, though, some sort of weather system comes along and sweeps the storm back out east. The remnant tropical system then often travels across the entire Atlantic Ocean and occasionally brings rain and wind as far away as England. Of course, we'll be keeping a close eye on the tropics for the next several months and bring you the latest updates and information. And remember, if you want to know something about the weather, let us know. Send in your questions to our email address, weather@wcbi.com, our Facebook and Twitter, and we'll feature it right here. For now, I'm meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
WeatherWise is brought to you by Ford County Electric Power Association. Your weather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Lots of weather coming up here in the next 24 to 48 hours, all courtesy of Tropical Storm Cristobal having made landfall earlier today in Louisiana. And it's going to come closer to us through the day tomorrow. Rain and wind through the day, possibly up to 1 to 3 inches of rain. And we're also going to have to talk about the potential for some breeze spin-up tornadoes. With a tropical system like this, the whole thing is already spinning around. So it's easier for those smaller, weak tornadoes to pop up. That's something we're going to be watching for through the day tomorrow, in addition to the flash flooding and the wind threat. Overnight tonight, I don't think everybody's going to see rain here in the next couple of hours, but there are some rain bands starting to filter in here, especially if you're down in Louisville and Macon. You're going to notice some shower activity here in the next couple of hours. 73 for the low tonight. The winds starting to gust up as well, anywhere from 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the southeast. But again, better chances for rain are going to come tomorrow. By the time you wake up, you're going to notice the rain, and it's going to stick around all through the day tomorrow. Basically a washout for your Monday. Highs right around 82 degrees, so not quite as warm thanks to all that rainfall. And the winds, you're also going to notice those gusting anywhere from 35 to 40 miles an hour at times. This is a tropical storm we're talking about. So as it comes inland, we're still going to have to deal with those gusty winds here through the day tomorrow. Let's take a live look outside right now from the Alpha Insurance Camera Network. Not a whole lot going on. We're going to watch Louisville here. I think they're going to get some rain in the next 30 or 45 minutes or so. Nothing too major, though, just some light sprinkles. Everybody else for now staying dry. Temperatures anywhere from 84 in Tupelo to 81 right now in Louisville and Columbus. Speaking of the tropical storm, the latest advisory just out at 10 o'clock from the National Hurricane Center. You see the center there. It made landfall just east of Grand Isle, Louisiana. It's now basically right on top of New Orleans and Baton Rouge there near Hammond, Louisiana. Winds are down to 45 miles an hour, but those are still pretty gusty when you keep in mind that this storm is basically going to come right over us. The windiest and rainiest part of the storm is going to be on top of us tomorrow. Here's a better view of what's going on along the Gulf Coast right now. Some of those heavier rain bands filtering in through Gulfport, Biloxi over to Mobile and Orange Beach. This yellow band there, that's probably some gusty winds, 35 to 45 miles an hour. And notice that if that stays on the current track, that would put it here in the Golden Triangle by early tomorrow morning. So that's what we're going to be watching for. And as I mentioned, also the gusty winds, anywhere from 25 in Hattiesburg up to 40 in Gulfport. We've even seen as high as 50 with that one rain band that I was telling you about coming on in. And again, all of this moving off to the north. And that is going to bring us some gusty winds through the day tomorrow. Basically going to be due west of us by about 1 o'clock and then just to our north and west by about 7. But we're going to be dealing with impacts for at least the next 24 to 36 hours as this storm slowly progresses off to the north. Here's what Futurecast is showing us. The center of circulation basically going to follow up the Mississippi River. And the heavier bands, again, coming through here by early tomorrow morning through the day on Monday. So really, we're not going to see many dry periods through the day tomorrow. Maybe early in the morning, a little bit of a break, but I think most of the day is going to see some rainfall. And these little cells here, that's what we're going to have to watch for the potential for those isolated spin-up tornadoes anytime from the afternoon into the evening hours. So keep it here on WCBI, and of course download that WCBI News app, and we'll keep you updated if any warnings are issued. The biggest threat, the things you're going to notice, is the flooding rain and the heavy wind, 35 to 45 mile an hour wind gusts, and again, the secondary threat for some isolated spin-up tornadoes. So by Monday, by Tuesday, I think 1 to 3 inches of rain is certainly possible. We've got another round of storms on Wednesday, but after that, take a look. Thursday, Friday, into the weekend, all looking nice and much sunnier. Highs back to near 90 by next weekend.
After the break, we check in with Mandy on this week's Mom to Mom. Stay with us. Welcome back in, everyone. The country paused to remember D-Day Saturday, the day Allied troops invaded the coast of Normandy. And while thousands of troops died on D-Day, many of their fellow soldiers still have those memories. 94-year-old Bradford Freeman of Caledonia remembers well serving in World War II, particularly his role in Normandy on D-Day. Freeman said he had always dreamed of serving his country and was proud to enlist as a teenager.
Me and my brother, we wanted to be paratroopers, and we read it in school that the Germans and Russia had paratroopers, and so we decided we wanted to be paratroopers before we left out of high school.
Well, Freeman told us that while he was in Normandy, he was dropped on a cow pasture and met a little boy. He got the opportunity to go back to Europe and meet that same boy, who is now 81 years old. Well, school has been out for a really long time now, and you may be running out of ideas to keep the kids entertained. Well, today on Mom to Mom, a unique way to keep the kids busy and get some work done around the house. Take a look.
Today on Mom to Mom, we're going to show you a fun little trick to get your kiddos to do some work around the house. When your kids are old enough to come to you and ask for money, they're old enough to earn it, right? That's why the jar of opportunities has come in so much handy around our house. Basically, all it is are popsicle sticks with fun little chores to do around the house and how much they can actually make. All you need to do is write a chore that you want done around the house. We do this weekly and of course daily. So they get to pull one stick out a day. It tells you how much money they earn on it for that day. Once they completed it, you can either stick it in another mason jar or you can put it in a drawer until the following week. My son, who is a middle schooler, loves this because he can earn money for those video games, or recently they've been wanting to buy those Christmas presents for his sister. This concept will also work well for date nights or one-on-one time. I mean, how many times have you been trying to go on a date and you're like, where do you want to go eat? Where do you want to go eat? And it becomes a big old fight. Well, the sticks will do the job for you. All you have to do is pull one out and it tells you exactly where to go. Same with the one-on-one time. Each kid, depending on how many you have, deserves that one-on-one time with each parent. So it's a really fun way to pull out a stick and it just tell you where you can go to do something really fun. As always, moms, we would love to hear your creative ways at getting your kids to do things around the house. Feel free to post those to our Facebook page, and we'll see you on the next Mom to Mom.
Baseball season would usually be in full swing right now in Columbus, but because of the coronavirus, the Columbus Parks and Recreation Department has decided to cancel the season for the rest of the summer. The Parks and Rec Department was set to host the league, but wanted to first get input from parents. Parks Director Greg Lewis says based on the feedback, his staff ultimately decided they needed to cancel the season altogether.
The staff contacted each parent that registered in our program, and after we contacted each parent, we found out that only about 75% wanted a refund. So what we did is that allowed us to have to cancel the league. Now, it's very unfortunate, and we hate that the children are not playing.
Well, it was mainly the parents that spoke to us, is what it was, and we kind of fed off of them. So, and because, you know, it's the parents that really make the place, and so we fed off of them, and they said no. So that's what made us go with our decision with not having was the parents.
Lewis says in addition to the baseball program, the splash pad and all other summer programs are closed until further notice. The parks, however, remain open for the summer. A golf tournament named in honor of a Louisville man who died in a car accident last year is raising money to help young people further their education. Our Savannah Gato talks to family members who say this is just one way to honor his life.
I am here at the Louisville Country Club, where family and friends have gathered together to celebrate the life of Joshua Reed. Reed, who worked as a lineman for Starkville Utilities, was killed in an accident in October of last year. Family members say he loved to play golf, so this event was a fitting way to both honor his life and help young people in their community.
Well, Joshua was a very selfless person. He always thought of others, and I think that today we raise so much money that will benefit someone else in their educational opportunities, and I think Joshua would be very proud of that. All of the proceeds from today, which we made around $9,000, it will go to benefit the Joshua Reed Memorial Lineman Scholarship, and that will fund the tuition of a student who is interested in going to lineman school.
The family displayed a Bible verse throughout the golf course. Reed's sister, Rachel, says the passage of Scripture holds a special meaning for their family.
During his accident and his time spent in the hospital, Joshua 1:9 became our motto, and that's be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And I think that we live that out today, that we're strong and courageous, and I think Joshua would be proud of that.
The scholarship will be awarded yearly to a student pursuing a career as a lineman, just like Joshua.
We're so excited, and we look forward to next year.
Reporting in Louisville, Savannah Gato, WCBI News.
Joshua Reed was an organ donor, and the woman that received his liver was at the tournament. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Trevor is going to have a final look at weather.
Stay weather aware tomorrow as Tropical Storm Cristobal passes by. Some gusty winds, maybe even a brief tornado. Some rain lingering on Tuesday and Wednesday, but take a look at the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, and the weekend. Sunshine returns with highs near 90.
All right, thank you, Trevor, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.